we got a call from superhero of sorts. You put out the bat signal, the duck signal, I suppose, and he gives us a call. So we got a call here from our guy, the Duck Knight. Go ahead and take a listen to this. He wants to talk about Dan Lanning in Oregon and all the things going on right now during spring ball in Eugene.
Yo, it's the Duck Knight. The Oregon propaganda's in full swing, bro. Got Dakorien Moore, Dante Moore. Can do no wrong. Yeah, that's about it.
Let them know, man. Just a pause. That's about it. Don't even say anything else. That's about it. Dakorien Moore, Dante Moore. I'm here for that. And y'all that watch the show, you know we're here for propaganda. But honestly, like propaganda, while we use it as a positive, sometimes there's a negative connotation along with that. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I think that everything around Oregon right now, from year to year, we're here for propaganda. I think it's all real. And we'll talk about that right now as we move forward. But want to make sure y'all know, one, Oregon fans, subscribe. College Football Sicko, subscribe. Because the hard count is brought to you by our friends over at Game Time, baby. All right, now college football season around the corner. And there's a lot of times, I know a lot of the time, a big game is on the horizon. Monday, you go into work, talk to your friends. You go into the game this weekend. Probably not. Maybe if I find the right ticket for the right price, I could, but probably not. Week goes on. Friday night, are you going to the game? Maybe. I don't know. We'll check ticket prices, check the Game Time app. Okay, it looks decent, whatever. Saturday morning, you're like, hey, everybody I know is going. I got to get to this game. It's where Game Time has got you covered. Make sure you get the best view because you're able to know the view from your seat before you buy. Also able to get the best price. Game Time's taking care of y'all now. And taking care of us many times. Know it's going to take care of y'all. But if you hear nothing else during this segment, hear this. Take the guesswork out of buying that Saturday morning ticket with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code HARDCOUNT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code HARDCOUNT for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. So if you got a kick early in Eugene and you want to make sure you're dialed in, Game Time taking care of y'all, man, all year long. So let's get back to what I was saying about Oregon and what the Duck Knight is saying about the propaganda around Oregon. Of course, we're here for it. But I think around Dante Moore, which the Duck Knight mentions, the commitment level alone from Oregon to Dante Moore, I think speaks volumes. Because think about it this way. Dante Moore has been recruited by Oregon 2 separate times. Once at the high school level, where he committed, then decommitted and went to UCLA, then once via the portal. Dante Moore also commits to Oregon, and I'm sure Oregon is paying him a healthy sum of money to sit on the bench for a full year. So credit Dante Moore for being mature enough to understand he needs a year to sit behind a Dylan Gabriel. Also credit Oregon for having the willingness to get a high-profile backup and pay him, I'm sure, whatever he's owed to then eventually be the guy in 2025. You're paying for development if you're Oregon at that point in time. Also, Jaron Sagapatelli transfers, but he flips on signing day to Oregon from Cal, shows up at bowl practice, and then eventually decides that Oregon wasn't going to be the place for him. Now, I'm reading between the lines, but JKS, I should say, is a 5-star cat in his own right. He watches bowl practice and sees Dante Moore. I have to think that factored into his decision to not stay at Oregon. There's a lot of clues here for Dante Moore being a baller. If you're Oregon, sticking with Dante Moore and continuing to recruit him, that to me says a lot about how much they think about him internally. Think about it this way. If you are going after an apartment, you try to get the apartment the first time around, you make a bid or whatever, your process is there, you missed out on the apartment the first time. Okay, bummer. Second time around, you get the apartment, but you can't live in it for a year. How much do you have to love that apartment? How much do you have to be all in on that apartment to say, you know what, we missed on it the first time, going to go after it the second time. That second time, we don't get it for a year, that's fine. We'll still keep paying this thing. We'll still keep putting a down payment down on this apartment. You got to feel good. And also to put a cherry on top here, Dan Lanning and that staff, they know good quarterback play. 2 Heisman finalists in the last 2 years at quarterback. They know what they're looking at. So all that to me says Dante Moore's got to be a guy. So there's that. I also, quite frankly, just trust Dan Lanning's football values. It's funny. all good college football coaches, different personalities, sure, but aren't they all kind of the same person? Like Saban was this way, Kirby is this way, Lanning is this way, Sark is this way. They all value the same thing, which are what? Recruiting, line of scrimmage, culture, and then have the ability to adapt. I would also add Marcus Freeman into that group for the record. Isn't that kind of what they do? That's Dan Lanning. And so I think we're at a point now in the college football landscape where I don't really care who Oregon has at quarterback or who they've lost the year before or the returning production. Like, I don't care that much. Why? Because I trust Dan Lanning. Kind of the same way you felt about Bama for a long time, the same way you feel about Georgia right now. Like, Georgia's rolling in with Gunnar Stockton at quarterback, who we've seen start one football game and lost. Nobody here is saying, oh, man, Georgia's going to finish last in the SEC. Oh, man, I don't know about Georgia this year. If you don't know about Georgia, it's you don't know if they're going to win the SEC, not if they're going to be any good. Why? You trust Kirby. So to me, like, Dan Lanning has earned that much trust in my mind in a very short amount of time based on what he's done out there in Eugene and also how he's recruited. So people are going to say, well, JD, but like Ohio State, right? Like Ohio State in the game that they played in the Rose Bowl, that was embarrassing. That makes you concerned about Lanning, right? Ohio State, you mean the team that they beat in Eugene? The team that ultimately won the national championship? They handed them a loss during the regular season? No, that doesn't really concern me all that much. Does that make the other 13 games that they won in 2024 like less valuable? I don't think so. So once again, Dan Lanning in Oregon, propaganda this, propaganda that. We're here for all that, but they will once again be in the Big Ten title mix, and they will be in the college football playoff, and Dante Moore will be the quarterback, and we'll enjoy watching all of it. But I think Oregon, to me at this point, is as stable of a stock as there is in college football.